I might have you take some notes or whatever on your recipes. So when you look at that, is it looking right here?
Yeah, like right at the cutting board. Like you can't see the corner of it, but
That's all right, right this is right. All right, perfect. All right, so today I'm gonna get all the meats done, and then towards the end I'll get the pie ready to be baked, but you won't be around to the end of the baking of the pre-baking of the pie. So I'm just gonna show you how to get all the meats together, and then tomorrow I'll finish the pie for you, okay, if we have school. If not, it'll be Monday. So, which is fine, whatever. So, I'm gonna get started with the pie dough first. I got my scale here. We're gonna use grams. We're gonna start with our flour. This is 315 grams of flour, okay? And I'm gonna put my flour in a tall one like this. Turn it on. Grab the flour. Oh, I'm on ounces, but I need grams. There we go. 315. Ready? 120. 210. 277. 306. 312. 13, 14, 15. There. My flour. Then I need a teaspoon of salt. I have my salt right over here. Salt is so heavy. Notice how heavy salt is. 1 teaspoon. Salt. Then I need 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Or 3 ounces, right? Now the nice thing about these, can you guys see they got the lines? So each of these, but they're not always, if you can see, they're not always lined up. That's kind of a glare, but this isn't really quite lined up, is it? So we're gonna do our best to kind of guesstimate it, and then we'll weigh it. So we'll set this over here, and we're gonna go 3 ounces. Right there. 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little bit, because this is off a little here. So let's see, how did I do? 3.147. 3.17. Pretty close, right? Get rid of that paper, and then we gotta chop it up. Okay, so we need a chef's knife for this, and the way I'm going to chop this up is I'm going to cut it in half this way, long ways, and I lay it on its side, and I'm going to cut it in half this way, and then I'm going to cut it into small bits this way. Just like that. And then all that goes into here. That's 3.0 exactly, right there. Okay, a little bit left over. We'll use that later. Then I need 2/3 cup or 130 grams of shortening. Change this to grams. 130. Ooh, I might need to get another. Can one of you guys go in there and get me another one of these? You see them up against the wall over there, please? Ooh, watch your head.
Nice one.
130. There's 64. This will kind of get you used to seeing what the metric sizes are, right?
A little bit.
A little bit. Thank you, sir.
Good job, Chef.
102. 123. $136. I only needed 130, right? There, 130. I need this later though. Keep that near me. All right, so this, I just need one more thing for my pie, and that's the ice water, right? So I'm just gonna get a cup like this, just a 1 cup measuring cup. And you wouldn't want to pre-measure this, just do it when you're ready to use it. I'm gonna fill that all the way up with ice. This one I'm not gonna measure. I know it says 4 ounces, but I'm just gonna fill this up with ice water, okay? That's all I'm gonna do for now. All right, so there is, thank you guys. That's my pie. Now I'm gonna jump to my filling and my topping. So first I need 5 eggs that I'm going to separate, and I'm gonna use 3 containers to do this, okay? I'll show you 2 different ways that you can separate eggs, and you probably have seen at least one. Tap it lightly on a flat surface, and then press it in and peel the top off, like so. And then roll that yolk. Oops, see, look at there. I almost broke that one. I didn't get any, it broke in there, so that's good. There's one.
Do 3.
I need 5.
Oh.
Here's how I like to do it though. That's the traditional method. You can buy an egg separator too if you want. I have them, but I found that this works really good. It's a little messy, but it works. So I'm gonna do this, watch. I'm just pour that right in my hand and let the whites fall right through my fingers.
Is it better to crack an egg on a flat surface or
Yes,
an edge?
flat,
Really?
because you get less shards.
Oh.
Okay?
See.
And then I'm gonna pour this into here. I'm gonna do another one. See how I have to do them separately, just in case I make an accident and get that yolk broken into that white. Then I won't use that one at all. Just give a little shake, let the whites fall through. There we go. Yolk goes there. Dump. Next one. I'm at 3, this is 4. And 5. Oh, that's up pretty quickly. There. I got my eggs separated. Okay. There's my eggs separated. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Clean up my area before I move on.
Why is it such a long, like, lap? Or, such a long... yeah, I feel like it's lap.
There's just a lot to it. There's 3 different things we gotta do. We gotta make a crust, we gotta make a filling, which is a custard, which takes time, and then we got the topping.
Okay.
We got 3 different things we gotta do.
My favorite.
Okay? Next item on my ingredients for the filling is 1 1/3 cups of water. Now on this one here, it only goes by the 1/2 cup. I don't know if you can see that, but it only goes by the 1/2 cup. So I'm gonna go to 1 and then 1/4, and then in between the 1/4 and the 1/2 is where I'm gonna go for 1/3 cup. Okay? little too much. See, it looks different from this angle. There. 1 1/3 cups of water. Put that into here for later. Then I need 16 tablespoons of sugar, or 200 grams, or a cup, right?
That's a lot of sugar.
So I'm gonna, I use my 1.5 cups. We're gonna go, what do we say? How many grams? 200? There's about 154, 198, 200. Okay, there's my sugar. Next, I need 1/3 cup or 38 grams of cornstarch. Tare. Cornstarch. Here. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Grams. Tare. Tare. Thank you. 38 is what we want, right? 32. 34. 38. Okay. Cornstarch. Then I need 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm actually just going to add my salt into my cornstarch because it's all going to go together anyway. 1/4 teaspoon salt. And then 2 lemons. Zested. I've washed these already since we're going to use the zest. You got to wash them. And I have, do you guys see this? This is called a microplate. If you don't have one of these, you might have something like this at home. It's like a small grater. You got a box grater at home that has that on it. That'll work too. You just have to be careful not to over zest the lemon, because all you want is the zest, not the white underneath it. So what I tell my students is that you're just removing color, okay? Because the white underneath it imparts a bitter flavor, and we don't want bitter in our pie. We want sweet, and with the lemon flavor, okay? So we're just gonna take our microplane, and we're just gonna give like 2 or 3 scrapes in one spot and then turn it. And I'm gonna try and get the whole thing. Lemon zest is one of those things that you can save. You can dry it out and save it for another time. If you have too much. Lemon zest is used a lot in cooking and baking. You can actually buy dried lemon zest if you want. Why? When you can just make your own, it's a whole lot cheaper. And you can keep it after you dry it in your pantry. I suppose you could freeze it if you wanted to, right? So it stays kind of fresh rather than drying out. Be careful because those are blades and they can catch your knuckles, they can catch the tips of your fingers, your fingernails. By the way, on your recipes, since we're not doing a production schedule anymore and there really is no place for your CCPs, you just need to add it somewhere in your recipe wherever you need to wear gloves or wherever you need to cook to a specific temperature, the food. But with this recipe, there are no CCPs. Everything's going to be cooked, so we don't need gloves. Okay? And we're not cooking meat, so we don't have to cook to a certain temperature. All right? So there's one. By the way, when you're finished with these lemon rinds, if you have a disposal at home, they're great for cleaning your disposal. You just throw it in there and run it. And that'll help clean your disposal. You don't have to buy special chemicals. Vinegar works too.
Rest of the lemon.
Yeah, we're gonna use the juice.
Oh, I see.
Yep, so after this we're gonna juice it. There we go, now I got my lemon rind all ready. My zest all ready, I should say. Okay. Now I will tell you, in the past, I have zested lemons, a small amount, and I've tried storing them in these little plastic cups. I come back the next day and it's eaten through the cup. This is acidic. Lots of acid in here. I don't know how it's going to react. It's a thicker plastic, kind of different than this one, but I don't know how it's going to react. So what I decided to do was get these thick plastic cups that I have, and they're up on the top shelf over there in that white bucket next to the scales. And so we're going to put this into here. Okay. I only needed 2 tablespoons. I'm pretty sure I got a lot more than I need. I got about 4 tablespoons out of that. Okay? That's all right. We'll save it for another application. So I'm going to set that there. Then we're going to juice it. So I've got this juicer. Okay? Glass juicer. There's some other handheld ones out there too that we have. You can use either one. It doesn't matter. You just need a bowl to put it over. We're going to cut this in half this way. And then we're going to juice. I'm trying to go left-handed because my right hand is sore and weak. That surgery I had this summer. Still. And these, I'm just going to throw in here for later. I'll throw them in that disposer, that one over there. Limes don't go through disposals. Their skin's really tough. Limes.
How do you make key lime pie?
Okay, see, so I'm kind of making sure I get all that out of there. Good question. I just chose this one.
I've never had
Key lime doesn't usually have meringue on it. And I wanted you to learn how to beat egg whites. From chapter 13 was the egg whites, remember? And chapter 14 is the measuring stuff.
Never had them in Meringue pie.
No?
Nope.
Do you like lemon flavor? Do you like lemon tart, the candy, the lemon?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you don't like it? I loved those when I was a kid. Those little lemon
I love them.
hard candies, yeah. This has a little screen that's catching the seeds, but sometimes the seeds are really small and they slip through those little holes there. So I brought this out too. It's a little handheld strainer. Okay. So then I'm gonna, and now I needed how much?
2 tablespoons.
That's 2 tablespoons of lemon juice.
Oh.
24 teaspoons, half a cup. Let's see how I did. It's 4 tablespoons, or 8 tablespoons is a half cup. 24 teaspoons is a half cup. Okay. So I'm gonna go to, oops, I got this the wrong way. I'm reading milliliters instead of, I need a half of a cup, 4 ounces, 24 teaspoons, 8 tablespoons. Oh, look at that. Oh, perfect. Those are big lemons. just so you know. And if I didn't have enough, in fact, I almost have a little too much because this is kind of, the pulp is stopping it from going all the way through. I'm just gonna set this back over here for now. There's my 4 ounces of lemon juice. Notice the different size containers I'm using here. Okay. Then I need 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, or 28 grams, or 1 ounce, right? Well, remember this thing right here? Let's see. If I need 1 ounce, or 28 grams, I'm just going to change it to ounces. 0.95. So 1 stick of butter for this whole recipe, 6 ounces for 1 part, or 6 tablespoons for 1 and 2 for the other, right? That's a stick. 8 tablespoons in 8 tablespoons in a stick, or 4 ounces in a stick. Okay, so I'm going to, and this one actually has to be room temperature for tomorrow, so I'm going to store it with my dry ingredients so it comes to room temperature overnight. Okay, so that's going to go in there. I already had one. And then for the meringue, now this is my pie shell. This is my filling, or my custard, going to be my custard. Now the meringue is the whites, okay? And then I also need a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, a 1/2 cup of sugar. So I'm going to start actually with my 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay, I got a 1/2 cup in here. And here's why I'm going to do it this way.
20 bucks.
1/2 cup of sugar, and then I needed a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar looks like this. I pull out my 1/2 teaspoon. I'm missing a 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, that's set.
I'd do it for 50.
All right, 1/2 teaspoon. Now, these containers like this have a little lip for a reason. There's my I'm going to put that right in my sugar. Okay, and then I need an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Remember, if you don't have an 1/8 teaspoon, you just fill that quarter halfway of salt. I'm just going to add that right in there too. Put it all together. Okay. So those 2 things right there, that's going to be my meringue. All right. So now that I have all of that done, I'm going to show you how to put the pie dough together. Okay. I gotta clean up for a minute though. In this recipe, we're going to leave it as is. I'm not cutting it in half. It turned out pretty good. You might have a little extra, but that's okay. I'd rather see you have a little extra dough than not enough, right? Okay. Let's get this. I'm going to do this because I need that. I need that, but I don't need this right now. Just moving some things out of my way. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to pull out my food processor here. You guys see that okay? All right. Now for the pie dough, I'm going to start with my flour and my salt. Those go in there together. The lid goes on. And I zap it a few times just to mix them in together. Here comes the fat.
The food processor.
Fat coming to the party.
Don't put your hand in.
Okay. Now is where you gotta be careful. You don't wanna over blend this. We just want it to kind of look like breadcrumbs. And this is where it might not be easy for you guys to see in there because there's kind of a glare. But I'm just gonna use the pulse. And that's about it. That's it. We used to do all that by hand with a pastry cutter. And my mother taught me to do it with 2 knives. That took forever. So anyways, we got our bowl. We're gonna pour all of that in there. Okay. Remove this out of there.
Wow, it's almost like that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. I actually almost overdid it. But can you guys see how that looks like breadcrumbs?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's like Parmesan cheese.
I don't know. Parmesan cheese, that's a good one. I don't know. Can you guys see that okay?
I think it really looks like Parmesan.
All right.
You see Parmesan cheese?
Now, I need my ice water. Okay. Which is right here. And my rubber spatula. And I need a tablespoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss the water into the flour mixture. Just a couple, it says 1 tablespoon at a time. You can do 2 tablespoons at a time. Just kind of drizzle it around, not all in one spot. And then I'm going to scrape and I'm going to toss. And notice my method, I like to turn the bowl as I scrape and toss it. Once that water is absorbed, I go get a couple more
I always forget that's there. It's so helpful.
tablespoons. So that's 4 tablespoons already, right? Oops. Starting to come together here. Like I said, I think I overmixed it just a little bit. Okay. Here's 2 more tablespoons. That's 6 tablespoons or 3 ounces so far. Your recipe said 4 ounces, right? But as I'm working this, I'm noticing it starting to come together. See? So I don't think I'm gonna add any more water to that. Okay? So it's coming together like a ball, like Play-Doh, kind of like Play-Doh.
Looks like a cheese.
All right? Okay. And so now I'm just gonna get a little extra flour. I'm gonna add it to my table here. And I'm gonna bring this out. Not too much. It does feel a little bit wet to me, so I'm just gonna bring this out onto the table. I'm just gonna press it together. Okay? It's getting sticky, so I'm gonna add some flour to my hands. Remember I said like a big snowball. Big snowball. And this is, you're sharing this with your partner, so we're gonna have to cut that in half, right? Okay. Get my knife, cut it in half. And then I'm gonna turn this into a disc about 1 inch thick, right?
We're making like 2 little small pies. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're making like a big one.
There's my disc. Would you say that's about 1 inch thick?
I would say yeah.
Okay, so that's what we want. And we're gonna do it with both of them. I'm kind of pressing the sides back in as it kind of cracks around the edges a little, just to keep it together. Now what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna wrap those up using some saran wrap. I pull the wrap out, I place it in, wrap it, and then that'll go in the fridge tomorrow till the next day. Okay? However, you can actually roll them out the same day. It works fine. I do it all the time. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to roll this out. All right, get some things out of the way. And I don't need any more. My rolling pin. This is probably about enough flour, I think. You don't want to over flour. Oh, be careful, you don't get any wet. There's water here. Just to be safe. And just get rid of that wetness. Okay. All right. Now I have a nice round disc. Okay. I don't need a lot of pressure. Now when it comes out of the fridge, it's going to be a little harder than this the next day. Obviously, you might need a little more pressure. But you just don't want to grind it down into the table, okay? You just want to gently roll it into an oval, like that. Okay, oval. And as I do this, I add a little more flour and I just kind of rub it, just kind of feel where the thicker spots are, and I just kind of press against it to flatten it to get it even. Then very gently, because this is a very gentle dough, just bring a little more flour there, a little more flour on top. And I'm going to see how I flipped it and I turned it. So now I'm going to go across that oval like so. If I need more flour, let's go ahead and add it like that. I just don't want too much. And I'm going to push this into an oval just gently. I'm not about the weight of the rolling pin is all I'm using. Now it's kind of big to pick up because it can fall apart very easily. So to avoid that, I'm going to lay my rolling pin on top. And I'm going to pick it up like so, bring some more flour to the game. And then I'm just going to lay it down. A little more flour. Now this one I'm going to show you as a whole pie. You could probably get 2 of your little ones out of this. Okay? And that's about an 1/8 inch thick. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And I know it's big enough because when I set my pie shell there, I've got lots on the edge, and you want lots on the edge because you're going to be folding that up under and you're going to do a crimp on the edge. Okay, a fluted edge is what it's called. And we want it high so that the custard all fits in there nice and neatly. Okay? So then, to get it into the pan, I think the easiest way is to do like my mother taught me and just kind of fold it into quarters like that. Find the center, put that point to the center. Unfold gently. If it falls apart, don't worry, we can put it back together. Okay, just like that. And then I got to kind of lift the sides and put it down to the middle so it doesn't stretch on me. Okay, I'm going to lift, press it, make sure there's no air pockets underneath. Okay. Then I'm going to go around and flute the edges. Now I notice I got a spot here, right? And I have some extra dough in some spots, like way over here. So I'll just take a little bit off of there and move it over here. It'll be all right. Okay? So now I'm just going to fold that under. Maybe I got to fold it twice. That's okay. But I'm just going to fold that under, and as I go around, I'm pinching it together. I got a bit too much here. I might have rolled it a little too thin. Doesn't have to look pretty the first time around. You can go back and fix it. All right, kind of ugly right now, isn't it? But I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna go around one more time. Can you guys see okay? I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know, I can't zoom on that one. But I'm just kind of pressing my fingers together like that. I'm fixing some rough spots here, trying to make it look pretty. If I got a little extra that I don't need, I can get rid of it. Okay, what do you think?
Looks like a pie.
Look good? I got a little thin spot here, but it'll be all right. Okay, so now we gotta put our beans in it so we can do our blind bake, right? So what I do is I take a piece of parchment paper. You'll probably need about half of this for the little ones. And I crinkle it up. And open it back up. Makes it fit easier. Makes it fit easier to that round edge, right? I just lay that in there like so. Then, grab my beans.
Wait, what?
Beans.
Oh, yeah.
My dry beans. You can buy, you can go on Amazon or to stores and buy pie weights. They're expensive. It's ridiculous. Like 20 bucks for a thing of pie weights. These are like $1 a bag, you know? And you can use them over and over and over again, okay? And the whole reason for the weight inside the dough is so when you pre-bake it or blind bake it, bubbles don't form on the bottom of your dough, reducing the amount you can put into your pie, right? Okay? So what temperature do I gotta cook this at?
Like 300.
Isn't it 375?
Well, we changed it.
Well, we're gonna stick with 375 to shorten our time. So we're gonna go 375. We're gonna go about 12 minutes or so. When it comes out, I'm gonna remove the beans, and I'm gonna poke the pie with a fork a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it back in for about 7 minutes. And then I'm gonna take it out, it's gonna look like this.
Whoa. Did you already poke? Oh, you did.
This is first hours. Okay?
That looks good.
So when I make my custard tomorrow, or maybe Monday, I'll put it in here. I'll have to rewarm it, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it in here, and then I'll whip up my egg whites and put it on top, and we pop it back in the oven to brown the egg whites.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you guys have any questions? Have any questions in there? Okay. Some of you still have chapter 14 to finish up. Did I get flour on my face? Finish 14 notes and quiz if you have it, please, and get that handed in, okay? If there was somebody not here yesterday when I explained that last question on the quiz, let me know, because there's 7 answers that you need to have for that last question on the quiz, using the same formula for all 7, okay? And that's all I have for today. So we'll see you tomorrow, or Monday, right? Can you stop that? Dan, can you stop that? Watch it. Thank you.